And more may join very soon. But in the meantime, let us chant the Vandanam. And as we are starting now, if you have the songbook, shall we chant the whole Vandana today? It is good to chant the whole Vandana. If you have the songbook, then as the devotees are coming together, and if you don't have the songbook even, as the devotees are coming together, we'll say the Vandanam, and it is good to be familiar with it and to hear it, and we are chanting every morning, every evening in Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, the full Vandana. So it is good for us to be aware. So let us chant Vandanam first. And even perhaps we can put it on the screen. I don't know, it's a bit short notice.
Yes, Maharaj, just let me get there.
Oh, I can manage it if you like.
I have it here, I have it here.
All right. All right, together, but with the microphones off, otherwise it's a little odd sound. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Pada Kamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitang Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitang Cha. All right, here we are. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmilitang Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. We'll go to Srila Gurudev's Vandan. Gur Babishtam Shupurakam Guru Ganaira Shisha Shambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipunam Shri Rupa Pantanugam Govinda Bidhamujvalam Bharatanam Bhaktyan Vitang Sundaram Vande Vishwa Gurum Chadipya Bhagavat Premno Hi Bija Pradam. And then to Guru Maharaj. Devam Divyatanam Sachandavadanam Balaka Chalantritam Sanjananda Puram Sadekavaranam Vairagya Vidyam Buddhim Shri Siddhantanidim Subhaktilasitam Sarasvatanam Baram Vandetam Shubhadam Madhikesharanam Nyashishvaram Sridharam. Shri Siddhanta Saraswati iti Vidito Gaurya Gurvanvaye Bhato Bhanuriva Prabhata Gagane Yogora Sankirtanai Mayavadati Mingilo Daragatan Udritya Jivaniman Krishna Prema Sudabdikahan Asukang Pradat Prabhum Tang Bhaje. Namo Gora Kishoraya Bhaktavaduta Murtaye Gorangri Padma Bringayam Radha Baba Nishevane. Poor Praneshwari, she's doing a lot of scrolling. Bande Bhakti Vinodanam Shri Gaura Shakti Swarupakam Bhakti Shastra. Excuse me. Bhakti Shastra Gyasam Raja Radha Rasa Sudanidhim. And one more to Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, and perhaps we'll end here. Gora Braja Shitasya Shaya Vaishnave Vandya Vigraham Jagannatha Prabhung Vande Premaping Vriddha Vaishnavam. So let us end here today, except we'll add Namo Mahavaranyaya, which most of you know anyhow. So we can say together, Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Prarayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gora Tvije Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai Shri Gurudev Shri Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Shri Guru Maharaj Shri Bhakti Rakha Kshidha Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai. Jai Shri Jai Shri Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Shri Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai. Jai Shri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai. So it's good for us. This is our immediate parampara, Guru parampara, and our parampara, this is the telescope to the spiritual world. And Guru Maharaj, in a very original way, gave that example that we may think that if there is something between us and the Lord, or us and another object, that will interfere with our seeing that object. But if we see the principle of a telescope, if you put one lens, if you just look through one lens at something distant like the moon, then it will make it look nearer. You'll be able to see it more clearly. And you put another lens and another lens in an organized sequence, and the proper type of lens in a sequence, then it will make very clear what we saw only originally as something quite indistinct. So this is our immediate parampara, coming back to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, then he really is the beginning of this tsunami wave that has come all over the world of Krishna consciousness, and the tsunami wave which flowed back to India again too. And by this wave coming through to the West and back to India, India got new life in Gauriya Vaishnavism, in Krishna consciousness on a very broad scale. And we see that in the growth of the temples of the Radha Krishna, Hare Krishna temples in India over the last 30 years or whatever it may be, maybe more than 30, yes, more than 30 years. The last 50 years, we can say. When Srila Prabhupada came back to India with the Western devotees, it really woke up India to the treasure that is in its own garden, instead of looking to London and America and the Western world for its standard. Because somehow Maya is very attractive, and unfortunately, where there is more Maya, it seems to be even more attractive. So from India, then so many, they looked to the West, and they looked to the West for their standard. And even now, as a friend of somebody we met here, yes, a friend that we met here in Italy just this last weekend, he said, I went to India, and he said that I was thinking that everybody is going to be wearing dhoti and kurta because we see you all in the temple, and we're thinking, oh, in India, they're all wearing dhoti and kurta. And he said, but I saw that everyone's wearing jeans and T-shirts and jeans and shirts, this, that, and the other. And really, it has swept India, this like imitating the style of the Western world. And I said, yes, I've been on a metro train. I was on a metro train, you know, the underground, overground trains that go for the city commuting in Delhi, New Delhi. Those, you can see all the way through the train. So if the train is going straight, then if you're at one end of the train or anywhere in the train, you can look all the way to the very front of the train, and you can look to the back of the train, because the carriages, they're all connected with wide connectors. So of course they twist and turn as they go around the bends. But I was on the train one day, it was a straight part of the train, and I'm looking all the way down the train, this way and this way. Number one, I was the only Westerner. And number two, I was the only one wearing traditional Indian clothing. Hare Krishna. So anyway, I did gently chuckle to myself when I saw that. Anyway, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was the very beginning of bringing the purity of Gauranga Mahaprabhu's message back, and with the vision and with the clear understanding that it is not only for India, this is not only for the Brahmin class in India, or not only for renounced persons who, as Guru Maharaj in one of the talks he gave that day, if you listen to the talks published on the web, said it's not that everybody wearing red rags is a sadhu, you know. So but some wearing red rags are sadhus, means they really are using their energy, which is the red part of it, the Rajagun, using their energy renounced from the material world, but for Krishna. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he saw that for the whole world, not only some who claim to be religious persons, appear to be religious persons, or even those who are qualified at controlling the senses, which is what the Brahminical section are meant to be, controlling the mind and the senses in a proper Vedic way. But not only for the strict persons, but for everybody in the world, because he saw that Mahaprabhu's instruction for chanting the holy name is that it is for everyone. And not only that, it is for any time, place, and circumstance. You don't have to bathe, wear clean cloth, sit in a certain direction, do archaman, then do so many rituals, and then chant, okay, now I'm purified and I'm ready to chant the holy names of the Lord as given by Mahaprabhu, the Maha Mantra. But it's for everybody in every time, place, and circumstance. So this is Bhaktivinoda Thakur. But first, when we see the parampara on the right side, the last when we're saying those parampara songs, is Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. And so the current of Vaishnavism, up until Bhaktivinoda Thakur, it existed, but it was a fine thread, maybe a deep channel, but it was a narrow, okay, we probably, instead of thread, we'll say it was a fine channel, a narrow but deep channel. And so we see that no one is independent, that, oh, from nowhere they're making, okay, from me we'll start a connection, as one quite famous supposedly world guru writes even in his books and says, he says, you need a guru, you need me. And then he happens to be quite wealthy, so you need me, and you can purchase me if you like. But even in his books, then he quite loudly points out that he doesn't have a guru. No, everything has come to me. I'm telling you I'm telling you what it is. So he doesn't have a guru. But in our parampara, and as shown by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu and all of the Panchatattva, as shown by the Lord himself in his 5 features, then we need connection. We need connection to the current of Krishna Bhakti, of divine love, as given by Mahaprabhu. And Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, he was within that fine, though that narrow channel, that narrow and deep channel, and you can say hidden to most persons, hidden in his devotional nature. But Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur recognized that. He was very educated. He, of course, was inspired from inside. And also, they are eternal servitors. So one can recognize another. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he received initiation from Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. He took Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj as his guru, substantially actually. This initiation means he accepted him fully as his guru. And then getting his blessing, then he wrote so many books and gave so many lectures in English as well as in Bengali and probably other languages, because Bhaktivinoda Thakur knew lots of languages. And then from Bhaktivinoda Thakur, then we know his son was Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who we heard so much about this during this last week. But it is, and so his son, and who he prayed for to Krishna, to the Lord, to please send one of your own men who can really be strong and powerful to show what is what of Mahaprabhu's line. It is so sad that now almost nobody understands what is the teaching of Mahaprabhu, what is the seva, what is devotional service, what is the goal, Krishna Prema. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur's son was Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. But Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, then being the son, the tradition is that a child won't take initiation from their parents. Their parents have given them the body, but they will come to another person to take the official initiation, as it were. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur also indicated to Srila Saraswati Thakur where to take initiation. He said, you go to Gaur-Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. So in the parampara that we've just been saying the Vandanam prayers to, the prayers to our parampara, then from Bhaktivinoda Thakur comes Srila Gaur-Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, who is the initiating guru of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Yet, as Guru Maharaj points out, Srila Saraswati Thakur, he took Bhaktivinoda Thakur as his principal guru. And he took so much direction and so much guidance from him. And of course, Gaur-Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. And then, okay, so from Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, I think all of us here in our little gathering, then we do know that current, that main current, came from Srila Saraswati Thakur to Guru Maharaj. From Guru Maharaj, then Srila Prabhupada took that around the world. And from Guru Maharaj specifically to Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Maharaj, Srila Gurudev. Then Guru Maharaj gave that and but showed very clearly that this channel is his channel. He's giving this to him, distributing it to Srila Govinda Maharaj. And Srila Govinda Maharaj, very broadly and widely, as Srila Prabhupada did, then distributed the mercy to the Vaishnavas around the world, to the persons around the world, and made them into Vaishnavas, uncovered their hearts. So this is our immediate parampara, and our parampara, this is our connection to Krishna as the lenses in a telescope, in the proper lens, in the proper position, then that makes the distant items more clear to our perception. So this is one example. Of course, we are not the subject to see the object, but in another way, by the parampara system, then the clarity of the necessity to be the object to be seen by the upper world, it becomes clearer and clearer. So the perception, the understanding, and the actual perception of our relationship with Krishna becomes clear through the parampara system. So today we read the Vandanam, and perhaps not only perhaps, it is very good to read the translation as we're discussing the parampara that we are mentioning each day. And let me just quickly come to this so I can read you the translation. In the meantime, we can say Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivas Adi Shri Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. All right, so I'll read it to you, and if maybe I can share the screen this time, and then you can also read it, and you can see where the line breaks should be if we are to say this. Click, 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 click. If we are to say this in the poetic way in which it was actually translated. So this is to Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktisundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj. So we can say together, and it is in poetic form. So we'll read Gurudev Govinda Maharaj's Pranam Mantra. His Guru's most cherished wishes he's truly fulfilling, adorned with his Guru Varga's affectionate blessing. In knowledge both conceivable and inconceivable, his expertise illumines the ontological whole. He is the foremost follower of Sri Rupa's divine aim. Sri Bhakti Sundar Govinda is his celebrated name. His beautiful figure stands out, clean, clear, and effulgent, devotionally endowed with transcendent sentiment. I worship him, the worldwide Guru from high above, the empowered bestower of the seed of divine love. Jai Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. And now to Guru Maharaj, the Devam Divyataram Satchandavadanam verse that we were just reading. So we can say together, I fall at the feet of Srila Sridhar Dev, who with charming expression sings his songs of sweet nectar. Dressed with fine garments like sun newly risen, he is the true saint the devotees have chosen. His detachment and knowledge are just like an ocean, the treasure house of complete, perfect conclusion. Radiant in pastimes of loving devotion, the abode of pure ecstasy, bestower of good fortune. Foremost true follower of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta, foremost great general of the whole renounced order, my Lord and my Master, my only shelter. I worship his feet, Srila Sridhar Deva. Jai Srila Sridhar Dev, Srila Guru Maharaj Ki Jai. And now Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Sri Siddhanta Saraswati Iti. So here we can read also in verse form the translation to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. In the great Gaudiya In the great Gaudiya Vaishnava teacher's line, as Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, he is renowned. Like the radiant sun in the morning sky, he appeared to rescue all souls swallowed by the all-devouring impersonal philosophy. By spreading the teachings of Lord Gauranga to sing the holy name of Lord Sri Krishna, he gave all the chance to dive in the ocean of love of Sri Krishna, the Supreme Person. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta, my Lord, Divine Master, at his feet do I pray to serve him forever. So in this edition of the songbook, a little adjustment of the line breaks should be there. And in the latest songbook, there are no line breaks at all. It's just included as prose. All right, so here we are to Srila Gaur-Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. I bow to our Guru, Srila Gaur-Kishore Das, the pure devotee beyond social class, the bee in the lotus of the feet of Sri Gauranga, who deep in his heart serves Sri Radha forever. How beautiful. All right, just two more to go. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur and his Vandanam, his pranam mantra, Vande Bhakti Vinodanam. And it's also, okay, all is good. I bow to Sri Thakur Bhakti Vinod, Mahaprabhu's love divine personified. He is the king of all knowers of the purpose of the scriptures, and he is the ocean of Sri Radha's devotion. Again, short, sweet, beautiful. And Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. The great venerable grandsire of pure devotion, loved by all Vaishnavas of both Navadip and Vrindavan. I worship the feet of that great Vaishnava Guru, the ocean of love, Srila Jagannatha Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namaha. Dear devotees, gathered together on this auspicious day for hearing some back to basics Hare Katha. And in the meantime, Udaram Prabhu joined us and Gauranataraj Prabhu joined us. And did I see? And Varun joined us, Udaram Prabhu joined us. And Paramananda Prabhu also joined. And somebody on iPhone who I can't see who has joined us too. I'm on a Chinese phone that I don't even know its name. Gongshi Fa Chai, Happy New Year phone, maybe. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, you have in the chat a question from Chintamani.
Govinda, 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 Govinda. Dandavas Maharaj, I'm confused in the proper pronunciation of Unmilitam in the Vandanam, as in Chakshu Unmilitam Jaina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. And let me just see. And I wonder why you are Unmilitam. Where is Unmilitam? Let me see. Just, can you just remind me in, I should know straight away. Oh, I got it. Om Gyanti Marandasya Gyananjana Shlaka. Chakshu Unmilitam. M with a dot on the top is in fact. It is not as such, but almost, it's like the French, no, it's like an NG pretty much, Unmilitam. And there's no long I or long A, so Chakshu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. It's not a long A as in Jnana or Ajnana as we have above. And the thing is, I cannot tell you all the Sanskrit rules and regulations because some things we know, some things we don't know. Obviously, in the things we know, the things we're told. But Unmilitam, I wonder what may be the, do you have a specific question in this regard you can mention?
Yes, she says that the
Oh.
U, the vowel U, she doesn't know whether the sound is U or just like you're saying, militam.
It's
Or
not
militam.
U. U would be a long U. A long U. Short U, long U. Short A, long A. Short I, long I. E, E. And actually in the Bengali, which I'm more accustomed to, they, instead of saying A, B, C, D, E, F, G, which kind of don't really have any relation about the way that it's said, but in the alphabet in Bengali and in Sanskrit, I know, but I can't quote you the Sanskrit, then it's all starting from the back and of the throat and coming forwards. So when they're doing the alphabet, it's I, U, U, and it's like I, U, U. No, A, I, U, U, starting from the back. Oh, Varun can tell us. Varun, tell us the alphabet.
No, I'm the last one to know this.
Oh no, you look like you should know it, Varun. All right. Anyhow,
I can do if you want the Sanskrit alphabet, but it's.
Oh, Nahush, yes, you're with us, Nahush. Good.
Yeah,
Please
I can also
do
it.
Please tell us.
Both Jaidev and Nahush.
Jayadev and Nahush can both do it, but let's do Nahush. I know he's going to nail it. He's a Brahmin by birth, so let him do it.
Please.
Sure. So which consonant should I do, Maharaj? Should I do like or?
Just do the first like 2 or 3. So it's not the consonants, but do the vowels also, because here we're dealing with the vowels.
So that's what I'm saying. I could just do the sound, or I could do like with like K or G.
Like I think it means like this: ah, e, e, u, a, I, o, ow, ah. Right?
Almost. I think the last part is aha.
Yes, Nahush, please, so, as you wish. Just give us a sample, not all the alphabet. Yeah.
A, E, U, A, I, O, aha.
So you see how it started from the back and coming to the front. And you can do the S's too.
Yeah, so sa, si, you know, I like that. So it's funny. But and then it's also you can do with the sh, sha, she, shu, and then there's a different S sounds. I only know those two. How to pronounce those two S sounds. But there's like a slight difference in which consonant of S to use when.
Yeah. But again, it's coming from the back of the mouth to the front. Anyhow,
sha, sa, ha.
Again, Jairesh.
Sha, sa, ha. So the first one is sha, which sometimes is pronounced sa in South Indian or in Bengali, but sha at the top palate, then sha coming up like about an inch behind the teeth, then at the teeth, sa, and then finally sha, sa, and then ha, I guess, is the guttural. So it goes from the back to forward and then kind of back to the guttural, and then ya, ra, la, va. That's a really good one. Ya at the top palate, the Y sound. Ya, ra is at the inch behind it, and then la at the teeth, and va at the lips.
Okay, so now we can all understand there is a science to the alphabet in Sanskrit and Hindi and other derivative languages. India has a lot of languages, but for us essentially, and then the Sanskrit and the Bengali are our 2 principal focuses, and they do run a little quite parallel. Anyhow, this is about the explanation of the pronunciation, or perhaps in America's pronunciation, I'm not sure. Even the pronunciation and pronunciation in English language. It can definitely vary, but the substance we want to keep. And so this is, we need to know what we're saying, more or less. And so this one, Om Gyan Timarandasya, this is the mantra, we are told, to Guru. And our parampara, of course, we are chanting these mantras to the parampara. But before Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, there is a parampara. But how many, and then we say Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga, which means all of the gurus in the parampara. So before Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, there is a parampara, but there was a gap, if you like, of officially who we know, perhaps, of who was his guru and his guru and his guru. But this current was maintained. And so this is coming up to Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. And from Vishwanath Chakravarti, and then Baladev Vidya Bhushan, from Baladev Vidya Bhushan. Then we don't necessarily know the official gurus from there to Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, though it may be mentioned somewhere. And then, of course, after Srila Govinda Maharaj, then there are several gurus who are bringing us that current of Srila Gurudev, Srila Guru Maharaj, and Srila Prabhupada. And so the Om Gyan Timarandasya is covering all of the guru section, and the Rupa Nuga Guru Varga is all of those gurus in the Rupa Nuga Varga, the current of Rupa Goswami, which includes all those before and all those after. So this is, anyhow, this is the beginning of our talk today, which is normally takes 5 minutes to get started with some obeisances to the Vaishnavas, the Parampara, and to Mahaprabhu. But today it was good to go through them. We do want to know what we're saying as far as possible, and not to become a parrot. And it's easy to, I mean, it's not even easy to become a parrot as you get older, because you still, parrots can't read, but parrots can remember. But we often, if those things which we learn later are a little bit more difficult to keep in the brain. You may come to find out, all you young persons in the gathering here. So tell me, let us ask Jivana this week, because we have Jivana with us. Jivana Didi, on any subject, would you like to say something? Do we have any notes from last week, by the way?
No, Maharaj.
No, okay. Then we've come and we've been in festival after festival, and we're all recovering from the austerities. And Jivana Didi can share something with us for our nourishment on the theme of back to basics. Kindly, Jivana.
Well, so I was just happened to be looking through some of my binders where I printed some things off from the website, the Mott website, at different times. And I thought everybody might like to hear this one. This is by Gurudev, and it's from 2006. And it's called, Please Give Me Shelter at Your Lotus Feet. And it's an excerpt from his darshan in Russia on the 4th of October. And it was transcribed by Vrinda and checked by Janardana Maharaj. So that's so the question from the devotee is, what should be our mood when we chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra? Which I thought was an excellent question. And then Srila Gurudev says, at present, don't think about anything. Only pray to the Maha Mantra. Please give me shelter at your lotus feet. Then he goes on to say, when the transcendental connection will come to me, it will reveal what is my service for the divine couple and what will be my position for the service of Krishna. That will be revealed automatically to me, and attachment and mood of service, everything will increase for the service to Krishna. And there's just goes on a little bit more, but I just thought that was a good thing to know, because you know, with chanting, sometimes you're chanting and just not really sure which direction am I going and what should I think. And so I thought that was one real good piece of nectar from Gurudev. So not really think about anything, only pray for shelter at the lotus feet of the holy name.
Jai. And I'm very happy to see you have a folder of printed items that have struck you over the years.
A lot of them from the Mott website, a lot of them.
Well, there is much there.
Yes, it's an ocean of nectar. That is an ocean of amazing nectar. Anybody, you could be really tired and kind of spaced out and just think, oh, I'm just going to open this up, and you will be transformed.
And as you pointed out at the introduction there too, that everything there is checked by somebody somewhere. It is checked, not just somebody's transcribing and putting what they think is there, etc. What did they think that Gurudev says? So the audios and the transcripts, excerpts and things. Yes. Wonderful.
Amazing.
A safe source. Safe source. And where's Paramananda Prabhu? Oh, you have your phone the other way up. So you're looking very thin, Paramananda. You are thin anyway. Paramananda Prabhu. A few words for you for our back to basics and to help us to chant Hare Krishna in the proper mood, as Jivana has just been sharing from Gurudev through Brinda and Janardhan Maharaj to us.
I'm actually trying to look a little bit more, you know, bulky, Maharaj. Anyhow, I just remembered when you were talking about different pronunciation of Sanskrit. There's a beautiful talk by Govinda Maharaj when he's talking about Sanskrit, how he learned Sanskrit under the best teacher, even though Guru Maharaj sent him to another person to study. But really, he said, my teacher was Guru Maharaj. So he talks about pronunciation. And he says, I only met two people, 2 or 3, maybe 2, who were really good at pronunciation of Sanskrit. And think about it. Gurudev, West Bengal, Navadvip, the Pandit capital, we can say. Till this day, I mean, Bengali Pandits are famous worldwide, India-wide. Gurudev is saying only 2 people. Of course, one is Guru Maharaj. And then he said there was one Pandit who was pretty good, I can say. He almost come close to Guru Maharaj, almost. But not yet, but anyhow, he was good. And then he said, I am not bad. Something I learned from Guru Maharaj, so I'm trying my best, I'm not so bad. And so Srila Gurudev is actually pointing it out, and Srila Madhusudana Maharaj just again pointed out that it's the substance we're interested in. Some devotee asked him about Sanskrit, not just once there, he was asked many times, Sanskrit, Bengali, and this and that. He said, oh, to learn Sanskrit, you have to, first of all, you need the samskar. That was Gurudev answer. You need a samskar. You have to appear in a certain area with certain qualities since the beginning. Then from a very early childhood, you will have to start studying. He said, and I didn't do that. I learned it later on. So I'm not considering myself to be a proper Sanskritian, but look at Gurudev's composition. I mean, of course, it's his humility, extreme humility. His compositions are superb, beautiful. So the substance is what we have to focus on. And that substance we can find in practically every corner when we are looking for it. Like Jivana Didi, she's printing out something that is touching her heart. And really, you open websites, you go, you don't have to look for, it's not a news, updated news site. It's like you go on BBC, CNN. You don't scroll down. The old news are dead news. In our case, the news are forever. You can read something that's been published 20 years ago, 30 years ago. It's going to be as fresh as ever. You can read something that was published yesterday and wow, that's just wonderful. So there is not that kind of consideration, time consideration, but really, especially in these times, we have to focus on what Srila Gurudev told us. He is not present at the moment. Would have been easy just to go to see Govinda Maharaj, call in some cases and ask him, but he is not present physically in front of us. So we have to find him. And where do we find him? In his instructions, in his talks, in his recordings, in his sincere followers and Vaishnavas' hearts. He is living there forever, eternally. There's no doubt about it. So focus. And today I shared that talk, Maharaj, when Gurudev is speaking about Vaishnavas, the value of the Vaishnava association, how it is nourishing us. It's all nourishing substance. He basically points out that there's nothing else is necessary but the Vaishnava association. You can do the greatest thing in the world, and he gives that example again about the bell not ringing during the Rajasuya Yagya. It was the biggest event of all time. And I don't think anybody surpassed it since it was done. Rajasuya Yagya by Pandavas with all the rishis, munis, and demigods present. I mean, try to match that. But that would have been absolutely useless. And Krishna said himself, it can only be successful. I mean, the bell will ring when the yagya is successful. And everything was arranged perfectly. Everybody, the rishis got fed with very nice prasad, and the demigods received all the sadhus, everybody. Beautiful, beautiful feast. Everything was like, all the mantras were chanted properly. By the way, do not forget, if you chant a mantra and mispronounce a single syllable, it will have exactly the opposite effect. So do not indulge yourself in doing fire sacrifices. You may create a demon or something, some inauspiciousness may come to you due to your poor mispronunciation of Sanskrit. So then Bhima is asking, why? I mean, everything is perfect. So Krishna, you said the bell is going to ring and the yagya is successful. We did everything according to the Shastra, according to the sadhu, according to the Dharma. Why the bell is not ringing? And Krishna said, oh, well, Vaishnava. One Vaishnava. You need one pure Vaishnava. His presence. If you can satisfy one pure Vaishnava, then yagya will be successful. So actually, it's a beautiful talk. I don't know if maybe I can post it later on so everybody can hear that. It's in your Skype, Maharaj, the link to it. But Gurudev is saying, why are we doing festivals? Why are we giving so much prasadam away? Why we're arranging all these activities? And he says, actually, our hope and our prayer that out of those thousands of people we're feeding and serving to during these festivals, there will be at least one Vaishnava, at least one pure Vaishnava. This is our hope. And that Vaishnava is our target. So we're hoping to satisfy that single pure Vaishnava out of thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands. Then everything will be successful. Our activities will be successful. So it's a very beautiful point that Srila Govinda Maharaj made in that talk. Mars, do you see that link?
Yeah. So I'll put this in the chat box for everyone.
It came to us by the grace of Jamuna Priya, and I'm not sure if Chinmoy Prabhu is also a part of that project, the Absolute Sweetness site.
Yes, I think especially for the finding the slokas and things like this, it's some part to play. I do not know the percentage part to play. Jamuna Priya is the main participant, main person, yes.
And on pronunciation of the shlokas, it's just my way. This is how I do it. I find Govinda Maharaj chanting, and really Gurudev chanted so many shlokas. So you just find him chanting that verse and try to match it, try to follow his, I mean, really, he's the best. And Guru Maharaj, maybe recordings of a little bit poorer quality in case of Guru Maharaj, but with Gurudev, recordings are very good. So you can clearly hear how the shlokas are pronounced properly. And yes, of course, keep in mind that Gurudev is of Bengali origin, so it's a Bengali pronunciation. But why should we care? It's Gurudev's sound vibration. He's vibrating that mantra. And so many times we hear from Guru Maharaj, Gurudev, and Goswami Maharaj recently been pointing that out, how shlokas, they're actually the windows into reality. They're transcendental living beings. So they are opening the whole world of reality, whole world of divinity to us. So if we want to learn the Sanskrit, Gurudev is a perfect example. If we want to learn the meaning, again, Gurudev, Guru Maharaj, the publication, the Vaishnavas, they can explain the meaning of the verses. That's a little bit from me, Maharaj.
A big bit from you. Thank you, Paramananda Prabhu. And by the way, in the chat box, and Pranesh is also put there, please give me shelter at your lotus feet, the article that Jeevana Devirasi was quoting from. So very efficiently, she's come across this. So please do copy these URLs, these and web addresses, which are in the chat box, so you can read at your leisure, which sounds like the wrong word, but so you can read at your devotional leisure. This is the word leisure. I don't think Gurudev will like leisure, because he doesn't like the word relax, and leisure implies relax. And so anyway, so you can read, and in the second case, that archive.org details one, that's the darshan that Srila Gurudev is, that Shripad Paramananda Prabhu is referring to, of Srila Gurudev speaking, that he referred to just now. So we've all heard, well, we maybe all heard it before or not, but let us hear it again. From the 15th of January, February, March, April 2007. Hare Krishna.
Oh, Maharaj,
yes.
Excuse me to interrupt. Also, Nahush has another question.
Okay, Nahush, what is your other question?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you. My question is on chanting on the fingers. The question I have is, I have seen on videos and instructions from other devotees that we chant typically on the middle finger. But I heard also that sometimes devotees chant silently or in their mind on the ring finger. And I just wanted to know if this is a correct understanding, or should I just stick to like chanting on the middle finger, you know, audibly, and not worry about the ring finger at all? Because I know there's different nadis and different, like, you know, connections, etc. So
well, there are all sorts of subtle things connected actually with every part of the body, but with the fingers there are also so subtle things. And okay, we've got examples of this, and even the doctor in Nabadip, one of our devotees went to the doctor and some problems, he told the problem, and the doctor said, are you eating with your fingers or with a like knife and fork or a spoon? And he was eating with a spoon. He said, this is your problem. And because this, that, and the other, you're saying, I think, about the rivers, but about the devas, the gods, everything is personified. Then they are told to abide in the different fingers, etc. But however, the answer is that we've got our teachers, our gurus, and they've got their gurus, and they're following as they've been taught. So this also is another symptom, if you like, of the parampara, that we've got teachers for what is the etiquette for our family. And we know around the world there's different etiquette in different places for how you eat your meal, as we're talking about eating meals. I mean, really, there's different etiquette. What applies in one place, it's the opposite practically in another place. So when we know the etiquette, so the etiquette of our family, and we can speak for our family, is that we are chanting on the beads with the long finger. whatever finger you call it, but it's the long finger and the thumb. And we're pulling the beads towards us. And then chanting 108 and then turning the beads around, and then we're always pulling the beads before us. So whatever may be said about any other finger, in another family, it may well be. We're not saying, oh, this is right, this is wrong, but for our family, it's right. This is our etiquette. And for other chanting, for those who are chanting Gayatri, there are different ways to chant on, to count on your fingers to 10 or to 12, and also different etiquette of, do you chant 10 times or 12 times, etc. So we follow our family also, how we are taught. And so we are taught our counting is on the, starting with what is the ring finger, except it's on the right hand. Is the right hand also called the ring finger? I do not know. Anyway, starting on the bone of that finger beside your little finger, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, did I see? 1, 2, then the little finger, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But there are other ways to do it, and we know there are other ways to do it. But this is our etiquette. So this is the answer. We are doing as we've been taught to do in our family. And again, the main thing is chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, with faith, with devotion, and praying also for the association of the devotees. Association means service, to come to be with the devotees, to participate. This is our family. Hare Krishna. And by the way, on Facebook, I was a little late to look on Facebook because I don't know why, just because. That's the only reason why. And so on Facebook, to all of the devotees who joined us, Mathura Basini Devi Rasi is with us, and Natalie. Oh, yes. Yes. Anonymous, perhaps wants to be anonymous. I do not know. But yes, Natalie, we know your devotional name. You're with us too. And Paurnamasi Devi Rasi is with us. And I did notice earlier 1 or 2, but now I don't see others. So anyhow, Pranesh, we probably can give an acknowledgement and our respect to those who I can't see on the Facebook. And what's the news from Varun? Can we ask just a mini update from our pilgrim to Vrindavan?
Oh, Maharaj, thanks. Yeah, it's pretty quiet here, and so it's still me, Keshvananda, Naveen, and a couple of young brahmacharis, and yeah, it's been pretty nice. Each day, Naveen takes me to see a different temple for darshan, and so we go at night, and it's very peaceful. Still, I don't understand the significance of all these things are so high, so I generally give dandavats, a little donation, and then honestly, I stand with a confused look on my face most of the time, but it's a very special place. At the temple itself, the bookstore will be open tomorrow, so we've cleaned and rearranged a lot of it. So tomorrow, hopefully, we can open it again.
Jai, that news in itself will be very pleasing to Gurudev. He made it so that the bookstore will be there. He wanted that the public coming by, maybe we're not making money, we're not selling books to make money, but we want to be available for the sincere seekers. So very good, Varun. We're happy, and I'm sure you helped with the cleaning and the preparation of that too.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Yeah, what'll be hopefully we'll have it open for 2 periods in the day, maybe 10 o'clock to 12, and then later in the late afternoon as well.
Jai, good. And I do wonder about the cows that come by, because we knew some of those cows. They have names, and they have, most of them have got homes, and the cows would come begging, just like sadhus. They come door to door begging. And one was called Vishaka.
Yeah, I don't know the names, but I've also been sampling different sweets from the sweet shops, like a sweet parikrama as well. So when I do that, the cows always come to me as I'm eating the sweet on the street. So I don't know if they're the same cows.
Well, we also don't, I mean, I don't know from here, but we did have cows regularly come, just like sadhus, and you see them at other times of the day. They're standing outside a door, waiting to see if somebody comes, sometimes pushing the door of the household to like knock on the door, see if somebody comes. And I'm very surprised by their gentle nature, even when lots of chaos is going on around them. Anyway, Varun, thank you for giving us a little touch with Vrindavan. He's at our Chaitanya Sarasat Mat under the shelter of the devotees in Vrindavan.
Thank you, Maharaj.
All right, dear devotees, we're happy to have you all with us, and we are continuing our devotional life to continue our journey home. We are not expecting to jump in one day, but we need to continue. And so with our friends, continuing becomes easier. And here we are with our friends together. And let us continue. Let us give appreciation to each other, to our Guru Parampara, to all those who can help us to understand the sweet, kind, honest, real nature of our wonderful masters. And Srila Gurudev, Srila Guru Maharaj, and Srila Prabhupada, they're from another world. They've come to set everything appropriately for the whole world. Let us try to remember them and represent them as best we can. Whatever we know nicely, we should try to give that to others, as we've been hearing about how to chant the Maha Mantra, the mood, etc., etc. Let us continue our life in this way and continue happily giving respect to all of the Vaishnavas, senior, junior, everywhere. We don't know who is who in this world. We know who we are. We are fallen souls in need of mercy of the Vaishnavas. And who is who, it's not for us to judge. We will give honor there. So humility, tolerance, giving honor to others, not wanting honor for oneself. This is the very method to chant the holy name. And at least once we say this, and then we have some hope that Gurudev in particular will be happy with us. Yes, the gathering was successful. You mentioned Chinadapi, Sunichina, Tarodeva, Sahishnuna, Amanina, Manadina, Kirtanya, Sada Harihi, which is Mahaprabhu's instruction emphasized by every one of our masters. Let us try to keep this in our heart and proceed. Jai Srila Gurudev ki Jai, Jai Srila Guru Maharaj ki Jai, and Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai, Shri Rupanuga Guru Vaga ki Jai. And our Guru Vaga covers so many. Also, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. All our present day Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Acharya Vrinda ki Jai. The next generation, and even we have next generation Acharya Vrinda ki Jai. Those who are bringing us Srila Gurudev, Srila Guru Maharaj, and Srila Prabhupada. So Jais to all, and to all of the Vaishnavas, Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai, to all of those assembled here ki Jai, and our senior devotees, Jivana Devi Dasi, Paramanand Prabhu, Praneshwari Devi Dasi, and to all our humble obeisances and our Vancha Kalpa Taruvyascha, Kripa Sindhubhye Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. And just before we go, a reminder to copy out these links if you wish to read the article that Jivana was referring to, and to hear the audio. I'm also copying them, so I've got them readily. And hear the audio that Paramananda Prabhu was referring to also. All right.
Bhaktiranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki jai.
Hare Krishna. I'm here in Gurudev's room with Gurudev. So here we will chant Gurudev's glories. We are in front of his divine grace. And Guru Maharaj, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra behind me, Guru Gauranga and Guru Gauranga Gandhava Govinda Sundarju of Navadip Dham on this side of me. So to all of them, Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Wo. Dandavad, dear devotees, with heart good wishes for the coming moments, minutes, hours, days, until we meet again. Hare Krishna.